So a book that really changed my perspective on coaching, but also my own learning and unlearning and positive development, personal development, is a book by Richard Rohr, and it's called Falling Upwards. And this video is actually maybe not necessarily for the younger generation, which ironically, the younger generation, the millennials, whatever you want to call them, seek me out as a mentor. This is really about how do you coach someone who's a little older. And Richard Rohr talks about, in essence, there are two phases in life. And the first phase in life is about, I want to complete an education. I want to have a great career or a job that I love. I want to have a relationship. I want to have children. I want to achieve XYZ. I want to have safety and security. I want to get friends. And that's a unique way of sort of looking at PERMA, the scientific definition of well-being, which is positive emotions, engagement and flow, meaning and purpose, positive relationship and achievement and accomplishment. And we're building towards that, and I think that's a very healthy thing. And the personal development books and the coaching courses offered, shy of my own, are really about achieving all of that. You find things like goal setting and stepping into the future and planning and tasking, removing the limitations and all those things. And I think that's wonderful. But what I noticed within myself and people like me, that there were a lot of people at some point shifting, where they started to talk about things like, I just want to be in balance. I want to feel grounded. I have a home. I have my friends. I actually want to reduce the amount of friends that I have, perhaps. They are talking about, I want to maintain my energy. There are certain things that I don't want to do tonight because I will feel void of energy tomorrow, or I'll feel less emotionally well. And I think that relates to this phase 2, where it's not about building the container, which is indicative of phase 1. It's about filling the container. And of course, phase 1ers also want to fill the container. They like to have energy, they like to be in comfort, safety, and security. But what's really like indicative of a phase 2 person is that they don't sweat all that anymore. It's about, how can I lead my day in balance? How can I feel fulfilled in this day, rather than what do I want to become in the future? Now you may think that's boring and they're not achieving goals. Well, you know what? That's a difference of perception. So for instance, since June, I've started to build a new company, actually with the younger generation and the older generation. I lost about 20 to 30 pounds of weight. I had to work on my emotions. I've been a little hormonal, which comes with being 46. It's about achieving sort of an emotional stability. And I've noticed that in terms of my own mental health and resilience, so to speak, that things, even tough things are happening, even tougher things that happened in the phase 1 of my life. But I'm kind of like, let's sort this problem. And sometimes around this problem, I need to complete some work. And so in this period where I'm completing courses, I'm reading a lot of books, I'm actually, for the outside world, I'm probably achieving more goals than I have in many, many years during the time that I was in phase 1. But it's a mindset. I kind of go, I don't have to set goals. I don't have to necessarily create a push or think about things like procrastination. That's also a perception. People could look at me and you're procrastinating on not launching your business faster than you did, that you are doing. You are procrastinating on not getting vitality and losing weight faster. But here's the thing. I think if I measure it, I actually achieve these goals much better than someone much younger than me, and also much better than my younger self. So what I find is I'm sort of in this mindset where everything becomes about feeling grounded, where everything becomes about balance, where everything that I do in my day is about feeling good, but also sort of like doing things that will benefit my PERMA, my positive emotions, engagement and flow, positive relationship, meaning and purpose, achievement and accomplishment in the future. But it's very interesting that it's sort of like the goal in itself becomes feeling balanced in your thoughts, in your emotional responses, in everything. Now, what's deceptive? I think there's a lot of phase oneers, and I think I can include myself when I was a little bit younger to think I was in phase two, really, even though I wasn't, is that you find that often in people in my line of work or in mindfulness or things like yoga, where they really want to be a phase two-er, where there's like, I'm all about balance and flexibility and curiosity, and that is deceiving in its sense. All the right words are used, but here's the thing: you go to yoga teacher training. Are you doing it because you want to build a career out of yoga teaching? Are you doing it to have a great holiday and have the benefit of that? Or are you doing it to actually travel to well-being and to additional balance? Just that's the goal. Just about balance, just about achievement. That technically means, as a phase two-er, if you would be in some class, a yoga teacher training, an NLP training, or whatever, and you don't feel good about showing up that day because you'd be better served with meditating on that day or taking a break or being at that beach, you technically wouldn't show up for the day. That's really a phase two decision. It's also what you do the night before. I used to be this party girl that would be up all night, burning the midnight oil, working or partying or hang out with people. I had a fear of missing out. I wasn't thinking about how do I feel tomorrow. And I think, as a phase two-er, I do think about how do I want to feel tomorrow? And is going out tonight or working tonight of benefit to me? Actually, I don't even work nights anymore. So I stay home or go home early, because everything is aligned in a goal in itself around feeling good and feeling good in the future. But I think that the main difference is that it's about your day. It's not about the trajectory forward in establishing your own identity. And so I want to give that as a thought for the coaches out there that are coaching people in phase two, is that most of the coaching tools and personal development books fall short of that. And it's not about sending someone on a mindfulness training. I mean, that will aid that. But again, that can be a phase two goal, if that makes sense at all. And so, should you assume when someone is older that they're in phase two? Not at all. I think that some people may never reach phase two. There's also younger people in phase one. But I think it sort of assumes a level of stability and security and knowing yourself. And I think that both phases are actually exciting. I think where it becomes challenging is if you're in essence trying to use tools that are for phase one while you're in phase two, or the other way around.